Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. How are you all doing? I hope that everybody is doing fine. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to talk about Muslim scholars and scientists. Did you know that there are a lot of inventions invented by Muslims in history that we are still using today? But unfortunately, those Muslim scholars are not very well known, especially in the Western world. Like for example, everybody knows here about Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci and Isaac Newton, because we also got this information when we are going to school. But they are never teaching us about the Islamic Golden Age and about all the inventions that are made in that time. And for me, this was so interesting when I discovered this information. I watched a lot of videos about history and about Muslim scholars from the Islamic Golden Age. So I thought it would be a nice idea to make a video about this subject, because I hope that more and more people will know about this information, especially here where I'm living in Europe, because I have never heard about them, and I'm sure that I am not the only one. Well, they make such a big difference in this world. What we have learned at school is that in the Western world, the medieval times, the Middle Ages, were known as a period of darkness in the history of science, and that was mostly true in the Western world. But at the south and east of the Mediterranean Sea, it was the Islamic Golden Age. In that time, Muslims made amazing advances in science, and many of these discoveries have shaped our modern world, like for example, cataract surgery and algebra. In that time, the mission to understand the world was for religious and scientific reasons. In that time, the Islamic Empire was very powerful, and it included nationalities from all different countries together. And in that way, they gained a lot of knowledge from all different countries. All those people were learning, translating, and exchanging ideas together. One of the most famous Muslim scholars is Al-Khwarizmi. He was the father of algebra and the creator of algorithm. He was a mathematician and astronomer, and he introduced Hindu-Arabic numerals into European mathematics, what is the basic of the numbers that we use today. And the algorithm, obviously we are using it now, especially also at social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube. And the algorithm is very important for many things nowadays. Ibn Sina is the father of modern medicine. His work was mainly about the prevention of diseases, and his book The Canon of Medicine was also used in Europe as a standard medical textbook. So even in the medical world here in Europe, we were using, and we are still using, a lot of the information that we got from Ibn Sina. Also, the camera is invented by a Muslim. Hassan ibn al-Hitham, he was a pioneering scientific thinker, mathematician, astronomer and physicist. He was also known as Al-Hasan. He made major breakthroughs in understanding optics, vision and light. He invented that when you are in a dark room and the light is coming from a tiny hole, it is projecting a picture of the outside world inside the dark room on a dark wall. And that is similar to how we see. Through his book of optics, what is translated also in Latin, he influenced a lot of European scholars. And he invented the camera obscura, also known as the pinhole camera. He is the father of modern optics, so he made it actually possible that I'm filming this video right now. And he made it also possible that we can make a selfie nowadays. Also, the first human flight was done by a Muslim inventor, Abbas ibn Firnas. For 23 years he studied the nature of flight, and eventually, when he was 70 years old, he made a pair of wings out of silk, wood and actual feathers. He jumped off a cliff and he made the first human flight. So the airplanes that we use today are based on the research of Abbas ibn Firnas. The design of the first flying machine of Abbas ibn Firnas was a great inspiration for Leonardo da Vinci hundreds of years later, without a doubt. Another invention is chemistry by a Muslim polymath. His name is Jabr ibn Hayyan. He is the father of chemistry. He was the one to introduce practical experiment in chemistry. And he invented several chemical processes that are still used in modern chemistry. For example, distillation, evaporation and crystallization. He was the first to use manganese dioxide for making glass and aqua regia to dissolve gold, what is also still used today, and other practical applications in chemistry, like the development of making steel, dyeing of cloth, tanning leather, rust prevention, waterproofing, and a lot more. He left over 100 books, and some of them were translated also in European languages. It is stated that the development of chemistry in Europe can be traced back directly to Jaber ibn Hayyan. And another inventor and mechanical engineer who has changed the world was Al-Jazari. He is the father of robotics and mechanic science. He is famous for building clocks and water racing machines. One of his most famous inventions was the brilliant elephant clock. But he also designed mechanical devices like the crankshaft using robotics, and this invention we are still using now in modern cars. Also, Al-Jazari wrote a book, The Book of Knowledge of Ingenious Mechanical Devices. The ideas of Al-Jazari definitely helped by the development of mechanical technology today. And another invention done by Muslims in that time is surgery. Al-Zaghrawi, he was the father of surgery. He invented CAD/CAM, what is used for internal stitches. And I hear you thinking, is CAD/CAM made from cats? But despite the name, it is not made from cats, it is made from other animals. And Al-Zaghrawi was famous for describing more than 200 surgical instruments and writing a 30-volume encyclopedia about surgery and medicine. His surgical and medical instruments are still used in the hospital nowadays. I also hear that he was influenced by the treatment of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and used them to treat people. There are many treatments where Al-Zaghrawi came up with, like C-sections and cataract surgeries. Can you imagine how important the inventions of Al-Zaghrawi are even nowadays? And not all the Muslim scholars were male. There were also female Muslim scientists and scholars. For example, Maryam al-Hajiliya, also known as Al-Astrolabiya. She was a 10th century Muslim astronomer, and she was the maker of astrolabes, a medieval device that was the GPS in that time. Muslims used the astrolabe in that time to find the direction of the Qibla, to pray at times, and determined starting days for Ramadan and Eid. So basically you can say that an astrolabe is an old-fashioned smartphone. And the first university was founded by a Muslim woman, Fatima al-Fihri. Fatima al-Fihri founded the first university in history of mankind. And that is the University Al-Qayrawiyyin in Fes in Morocco. Al-Qayrawiyyin predates Cambridge and Oxford by 300 years. It is considered the most ancient university in the world, and it is still operating today. So we can say that Fatima al-Fihri paved the way for modern universities. I've made a series of these Muslim scholars also on my TikTok account. I saw that a lot of people are interested in this subject, and I think it's important to spread this message also to the rest of the world, to let everybody know about the Muslim Golden Age and about the things that Muslims actually invented in that time. During my trip in Istanbul, I went also to a museum of history of science and technology in Islam. They had a great collection of all the inventions, and it was so interesting to see that with your own eyes and to read a lot of information about them. They even play also videos on television screens to explain everything about those inventions and about the Muslim scholars. So I recommend everybody to go to that museum and to check it out. It is in the center of Istanbul. I will write down below in the description box the address of this museum if you are interested to visit that museum as well, if you are there by any chance. Of course, there is a lot to tell more about these Muslim scholars and scientists, but then this video would be way too long. And of course, there are more Muslim scholars and scientists that I didn't talk about in this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any further information about history and science in Islam. I'm very interested to read about that, so please let me know. I hope that you enjoyed to watch this video and that you find it as interesting as I do. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to like this video if you didn't do that yet. And I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos. Bye!